to being obsessed with the rosary and all that. And once you get that obsession, it's bad news for Satan and good news for your soul.
Jesus 911.
Jesus 911, we are back. We have a ride along today. His name is Kennedy Hall. He's coming to us from, where is it? Toronto, you said?
Stratford, Ontario.
Stratford, Ontario. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And we're talking about his new book. And I'm looking at the chat room here. It's like one of our readers has read your book, and he's speaking highly of it. He's
Thank you.
Promoting it, and he says, "Hey, Jesse, he should be on our show more often." So,
cool.
Well, we just met.
Yeah.
Give me a chance here. Yeah. It's always good to find like-minded Catholics that are properly integrated, and once again, we've just got to rout this effeminacy monster out of the Catholic Church, and it's good to lock arms with people like Kennedy and others that are just realizing, hey, we're as his book says, St. Joseph, Terror of Demons, Reclaiming Traditional Masculinity. I can't wait to get into it.
When I saw the lineup today, Kennedy, I said, man, I've been reading your articles at the Fatima Center.
Oh, really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Very well written. And then some of those talks, and when I'm driving, I can put them on Spotify. I could hear the talks from the Fatima Center. So
Great.
Tell us about yourself. Tell the audience where you come from, who you are.
Well, first, I'm a big fan of Virgin Most Powerful. I've been a Jesus 911 fanboy for about a year and a half now since you guys came out. So, and I got to give a shout out to my buddy Dave, who's the same kind of fanboy as me. So he's watching this. This is a fun moment for us. But I'm Canadian. I'm from Ontario, Canada, a small town called Stratford. Teacher, coach, and I'm a Catholic who just decided to write a book. I've got my fifth child on the way. Wow. Thanks be to God. Been married for 9 years or so. And that's about the footnotes. That's the Coles notes for right now.
Kennedy, what inspired you to write this book, Terror of Demons, Reclaiming Traditional Catholic Masculinity?
A few things. For one, it was kind of a spiritual exercise for myself. I like, truth be told, when we started having our marriage, like, we were married for a couple of years before we had kids. And then once we converted or reverted, I guess, then we realized we had to be open to life and stuff. So we'll be having our fifth child in February, and my oldest child will be 5 this October. So it's been my wife is she's shaving off a lot of purgatory time. Oh, and but so when I was having kids so fast and getting to know the faith, I realized that I had to learn myself how to be the right kind of man that could do that for my family and the culture that we're in right now. And so I consulted a bunch of resources. One was actually your book, Jesse, Wake Up. I like that book, Catholics Wake Up.
Oh,
and
okay.
And then, the classic stuff, Father Ripperger on YouTube and his How to Raise a Man talk. I've probably listened to that half a dozen times.
Yeah.
Yep. Things like that. And I looked around and I went, there's got to be one resource where we can take all of these necessary bits and pieces and put them into something where you can just give to a man and say, here, this is 90% of what you need, figure this out, and then call in a specialist for anything else. That's kind of what I thought.
And then what you're talking about here, Kennedy, is exactly what we need in the church today is true masculinity. We call it muscular Catholicism or muscular Christianity here on this show, and it is sorely needed in our church. Our men are AWOL, and that's the whole purpose of this little platform that we started. Jesse and I started on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you talk about effeminacy. What is effeminacy?
Define it.
Define it. Well, I mean, there's a few different ways people use the word, but I use it the way that St. Thomas Aquinas uses it in the Summa, and he calls it a reluctance to suffer due to an attachment to pleasure. And the roots of the word in Greek are actually, it means something like softness. And then Thomas Aquinas in the Summa talks about how something that's effeminate will yield to blows. So, for example, you could say your door is an effeminate door. That might sound strange, but it's a soft door. It's not going to stand up to pressure. So when you apply that to the character of a man, it just basically means he's soft. He's attached to the comforts of life, and he won't forego those things in order to do what he knows is virtuous. And I think that's kind of the primary vice in our culture for men. And it's primordial. There's an aspect of effeminacy in the original sin. Just like on the corollary, there's an aspect of usurpation, which is, a sort of precursor for modern day feminism on the other side. So both of those things we struggle with in the church, and we have to work those things out on our own accord if there's going to be any improvement.
Yeah, you said something very interesting. When you look at Adam and Eve, the Adam and Eve story, that's not a myth, by the way, for those liberals out there listening. Adam, he was guilty of basically effeminacy. He didn't want to suffer. He was afraid to suffer for his spouse. That was a classic example of effeminacy. And then on the other side, Eve was guilty of usurpation. She wanted to usurp the role of the man, and she stepped forward and began talking to the snake, this talking snake, which was Satan, as Adam was in the shadows somewhere, hiding behind her dress. So that's the classic paradigm of what you don't want to do or you don't want to imitate, and that's the problem in our society. We have too many Adams, effeminate men, and we have too many usurpers, too many women that I am woman, watch me roar. And unless we understand our roles within the family construct, we're going to keep on descending into more social decay, because the devil fears when he sees order, when he sees a structure, when he sees male order, female order, properly ordered. That affords a protection for the family and for the marriage. When the demon sees disorder in the relationship between the man, the man's effeminate, the woman's a usurper, the demon will retaliate against the marriage and against the sacramental construct and against the kids. Yeah, good job, Kennedy.
Thank you.
So how is effeminacy affecting men and the culture?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. One primary one, in my opinion, is it's the foundation for the vice of pornography usage. Pornography is like, it's a